For many people, virtually everything in their lives is spurious. We are raised by well-meant adults that paint our minds with an archaic and obsolete mentality. Our lives are strictly guided towards paths chosen by these adult figures in our lives, and we follow without questions because we trust their judgment, often born out of long years of experience. We will eventually get to a point in our lives where all these lessons learned over the years become practicalized, and then we go into the 9-to-5 world where we work to pay the bills and only live for the weekends. Our lives are plunged into an almost unending cycle of subservience to an employer for the most part of our youth, living someone else's dreams.
We have become so detached from ourselves that we ignore the warning signals being sent by our system. We try to convince ourselves that we have achieved enough at work and attempt to get a shot at the comfortable life in the evening, following the standards specially prepared by the media. We allow ourselves to be distracted by the superficial entertainment and conveniently ignore the real struggle faced by many people in the outside world. We allow ourselves to be run following the dictates of flamboyant ads. We get immersed in their realm of infinite consumerism scenarios, stacking our refrigerators with food we can't cook, and with food that we waste later. We're wasting huge amounts of food that the less privileged people around the globe would be thankful for. We've been blindly led into these wasteful norms that we become afraid and embarrassed to go against these norms. We don't see the need to reduce our wasteful habits and recycle our garbage, or the need to prevent pollution simply because others are not doing it.
You can detach yourself from this herd behavior and advocate for new and healthier trends. Most people are wallowing in ignorance, paying no mind to the world around them. Most people have become so closed-minded that they fail to see what's going on around the globe, so self-entitled to the point of taking their lives for granted. It is important to take a step back and reevaluate our lives.
While we are worrying over more likes on social media, children in other parts of the world are worrying over food and water.
While you are sick and tired of the weather, people in Australia are suffering from the heat of calamitous brush fires.
While you make incessant complaints about your life, people in other parts of the world would give anything to have even a slice of what you have.
We have been nurtured with fear from the formative years of our lives, and this fear has metamorphosed into adulthood. We are frightened by the thought that maybe the truth we have been served is nothing but a hoax.
So we continue to live in our web of lies. In fear of not conforming with the norms by accusing others, we bow to the elites that use us to achieve their goals. We refuse to allow ourselves to think of the possibilities of a world outside the small box we have crammed into.
Every move we make is by the dictates of these greedy elites. They are controlling us. Their aim is to gain a strong control of the masses.
Take a critical look at politics and how these political games affect our lives and how we accept them consciously by voting. These politicians instill fear in us as a campaign strategy, and we follow blindly as they make up stories of enemies that are non-existent.
We judge everything that's not aligned with our view, failing to see that diversity could be a good thing. We act like our persistent existence will last forever, and that's why we postpone calls to loved ones like they'd be there at all times.
Life is limited, and it lasts more or less for every one of us. Life is not promised. Stop postponing. We make complaints about back and neck pains, but our eyes are fixated on our devices at all time
that we totally ignore the effects on our body. In a bid to be social online, we have forgotten how to hold real conversations with people offline. We fill our heads with the wrong versions of what happiness should look like. We are consistently seeking validation via social media likes and comments.
Why can't we be smart about our smart devices? Why aren't we using this amazing tool to spread knowledge and healing to the world? We've inadvertently allowed technology to use us instead of the other way around. A lot is happening around us, even in our immediate environments, that we have completely ignored. Nature has changed over the years, and we're the main culprits. We place a lot of attention on technological advancements and erecting buildings at the detriment of nature. We take virtually everything from nature without giving back. Look at the mess we made with forests in our quest to build a sophisticated society. We're killing vegetation and in turn killing our source of carbon dioxide removal from the air and supporting greenhouse gas emissions. It's been established that deforestation is the second leading cause of climate change. We have polluted our seas, lakes, and oceans. We're greatly surprised when we see people struggling with smelly and dirty water in the media. Did you know that there are people who resort to using contaminated water daily?
A study conducted by the Environmental Working Group in 2018 revealed that about 14 million Americans are using contaminated water with a cancer-causing industrial solvent. Things didn't change even after this grim revelation. Why are we so self-centered that nothing around us matters anymore? Why are we teaching our children to satisfy their needs and completely ignore the repercussions of their actions on the environment? We need to come back to our senses before things get exacerbated. What we have done thus far is irrelevant. What matters is changing our ways of doing things and restoring the balance one step at a time. The media and politics will not bring forth the desired change. We are the change.
Gradually, we can create new trends and enlighten those ignorant of the planet's plight. We can start little, because little steps taken in the process of caring more about the effects of our actions can bring about huge and significant reformation. We need to hold ourselves accountable for all the things we do with our lives. We can't sit idly by and wait for others to make a change when we can make a change.
The time to act is now.
At this very moment, we could be in any corner of the world and be thinking about ourselves. We could be watching TV on our cozy couch while looking at our smartphones to see how many likes our posts garnered, or complaining about the sluggish internet connection or the unavailability of our favorite soap opera on Netflix. We could be bothering ourselves with anything that adds no direct value to our lives. But what are we doing to add value to the lives of others? We keep taking and taking from nature, but what exactly are we giving back? We take amazing photos of the greenery and awe-inspiring aesthetics of nature in our trips and share on social media. But are we doing something to keep it green and beautiful for others to savor? We talk about the good deeds that we're doing for kids in need of help on holidays, but what are we doing for them in other months of the year? Their lives will not change simply because we gave them that one gift during the holidays.
The best legacy we can leave behind for our kids is a clean, green, and beautiful world. The technologies we enjoy today are due to the efforts of our forebears to make life better for us. This includes vehicles, electricity, telephones, and a host of other beneficial technological innovations that we are taking for granted these days. We can play a role in making life better for the next age. We can create something they can all be proud of and be thankful for in the future.
Why not etch your footprints in the sands of time as the generation that made the world a better place?